Is your kit lens holding you back, or is it just misunderstood? Most photographers will tell you to ditch it right away, and honestly, it's advice I often give. But before you upgrade, you need to know how to squeeze the most out of it. When is it time to move on? And how do you choose the right lens to upgrade to? I'm Brenda Bergerine, and today I'm going to show you how to make the most of your kit lens while you're learning. And I'll share a clear path forward so you know exactly which upgrades are worth the money and why. First, let's talk about why the kit lens matters. The kit lens comes with most cameras. Usually it's an 18 to 55 millimeter on a crop sensor camera, or a 24 to 105 on a full frame. I have a 28 to 70, 3.5 to 5.6 on a Sony. Kit lens are usually lightweight, versatile, and give you a chance to try different focal lengths without buying extra lenses. And that's the value. These lenses are teachers. They help you figure out what you like to shoot. Is it wide angles, portraits, everyday storytelling? You can explore it all, but let's be honest, kit lenses are limited. Small maximum apertures like f3.5 to 5.6 might not be that sharp, and they'll struggle in low light, and you definitely won't get that creamy bokeh. Your images might just look a little flat. So while you'll want to upgrade eventually, the kit lens is still useful as you're learning. Let's talk about one of the most frustrating parts of kit lenses, the variable maximum aperture. We rented one from Lens Rentals to get some real world examples, and it reminded me just how limiting this can be. As you zoom, the aperture shifts, your exposure changes, and shooting in full manual control becomes a constant juggling act. And honestly, that's the tipping point. If those exposure shifts are driving you crazy, it's usually a sign you're ready to move up to a faster prime or a constant aperture zoom. And that's when photography starts to feel easier and more creative. Let's compare the kit lens to some popular focal lengths that you'll want to consider. The first comparison is the kit lens versus the classic nifty 50. Both the 50 and the kit lens can technically shoot at 50 millimeters, but the difference is huge. The kit lens maxes out at around f5.6, while a 50 millimeter prime can open up to f1.8 or f1.4. That means sharper images, way better low light performance, and that beautiful blurred background. For example, let's look at some portraits shot on the kit lens at 50 versus the 50 millimeter prime. Same focal length, completely different look. If you want to learn more, I have a whole video on how to shoot with the 50 millimeter lens. I'll link that below. But next, let's talk about comparing the kit lens to the 35 millimeter. Again, your kit lens can zoom to 35, but it doesn't perform like a true 35 prime. The prime is faster, sharper, and better for storytelling. If you think about photographing a busy market or a crowded room, with the kit lens, your aperture is stuck at f4, maybe at 5.6, and your background stays messy. With a 35 millimeter prime, you can open wide, blur out distractions, and still capture the environment. If you want to dive deeper into the 35 millimeter lens, check out my video on that. Still one of the most popular videos on my channel. So finally, let's compare the kit lens to a pro level zoom. Take the 24 to 70 f2.8. It covers almost the exact same range as many full frame kit lenses, but the difference is speed, sharpness, and build quality. The 24 to 70 is the lens that a lot of wedding and event photographers rely on. Here's the trade-off. The kit lens costs basically nothing, while the 24 to 70 f2.8 is usually over $1,000. So if you're shooting professionally and want one lens that can replace your kit, that might be your upgrade path. But for most beginners, starting with a simple prime like a 50 or a 35 will give you a bigger bang for your buck. In order to really see the difference between our prime lenses and the kit lens, we're gonna do a few tests here in the studio. The first thing we're gonna do is shoot this studio light with our 35 prime at the widest available aperture, which is f1.8. And then compare that to the same shot with the kit lens at 35 at its widest available aperture, which is about 4. And you can see in the image the difference between the bokeh that it creates and how if the room was busier, if there was more distracting elements in the background, the prime would really allow you to clean up your shot by having that depth of field. The next test that we did was to turn off the big light and then see what type of image we can create with our prime at f1.8. And then try to recreate that image with our kit lens. And you'll notice that we have to either crank the ISO, which results in some graininess, or we have to drop the shutter speed, which is a little risky to shoot handheld at 1/10, but you could again use the tripod or something like that. And so you can see the challenges of shooting low light with the kit lens. And then the final test we did just to show you the difference between these two stops of light is just take the same picture at the 1.8 and the 4 to show you the difference in how much light each of these lenses is letting into the sensor. Hopefully that helps you see the difference between the kit lens and the prime in low light. So how do you get the most out of your kit lens while you still have it? Number one, use good light. These lenses, as I've mentioned, will struggle in low light. So shoot outdoors, near windows, or add artificial light indoors. The more light you have, the better your results will be. Next, you might want to stabilize your shots. Because the apertures are narrower, you'll often need slower shutter speeds. So you'll want to brace your arms or use a tripod or lean against the wall. If your camera has image stabilization, turn it on. Next, you might stop down for sharpness. Many kit lenses are actually sharper at f8 or f11 than they are wide open. So if you're in good light, stop down and you'll see crisper results. You can look up the best sharpness for your lens and use those apertures and see the difference that it makes. Next, you'll want to be intentional with composition. Since you can't rely on shallow depth of field, use framing, leading lines, clean backgrounds to make your subject pop. This is actually great practice for any lens. Be intentional with your composition. Next, explore the zoom range. Shoot wide landscapes at 18, then zoom to 55 for portraits. See if you can get some compressions at 70. Notice what you enjoy most, and that will help you decide what to upgrade to first. That flexibility is also why many beginners take their kit lens traveling. It covers a lot in one package. If you want more advice on making the most of your travel photography, check out our travel photography guide in the shop. And if you're not sure what lens to buy next, I have a whole video on how to pick the right focal length for you. I'll link all that below. Now let's talk about when it's actually worth upgrading. If you're frustrated shooting indoors or at night, you'll want a faster lens. If you want creamy, blurred backgrounds for portraits, the kit lens won't deliver. If you're printing large or working professionally, you'll want something sharper. The good news, upgrades don't have to break the bank. A 50mm f1.8 is usually $150 to $200 and will instantly change your photography. A 35mm prime is another great option for everyday shooting. And if you want to invest in one professional workhorse, the 24-70 f2.8 is a powerful choice. I'll link all our recommendations in the description, from budget-friendly primes to pro-level zooms. So to recap, the kit lens is a great teacher, and it's a versatile starting point, a great way to practice your composition, but it does have its limits. Once you know what frustrates you most, low light, sharpness, depth of field, that's your clue it's time to upgrade. And now you know how to. If you're ready for your first prime, you can check out my video on how to shoot with the 50. It's one of the best upgrades you can make. And if you're curious about storytelling, the 35 is a great fit too. I'd love to know, are you still shooting with your kit lens or have you already upgraded? Drop your comment below and let me know what you chose or what you're going to choose. Make sure you hit subscribe, grab my free money and gear guide in the description so you don't waste cash upgrading in the wrong order. And I will see you in the next video of this How to Shoot series. See you over there.